You have to be real careful who you end up dating, who you end up marrying. You can say, oh, we have the same values, but they could be just paying lip service to values. Oh, sure, humanity overall has values. We all have values. But what's values and what's actions are two different things. So even bad people have values. They value their friends. They treat their friends well. They value hard work. They value, even bad people have families until they fall apart. That's what you have to avoid. The thief will come to steal and destroy. They'll come in acting like they care. They'll start to believe them. They'll start to pretend like you're their world and you're their one and only. And it's lies, but you believe them because you want to believe them. And you're not used to people lying to you. You are an honest person, and so then you think other people are honest as well. And that's just not the case. And you're young. Oh, yeah. Especially when you're young. And that's when people get married a lot, is when they're young, before they have any idea how corrupt some people can be. And people's values change. People's values change. People get tired of what was their normal values before, and so then they look for excitement instead of values because they don't have the commitment. People are wired differently. People are wired differently. There are soulless people in the world. They have no soul. They have no soul. And they don't care to destroy your soul as long as it gets them what they want, because all they care about is themselves. So, you got to watch out for people who are, they'll come on strong. They'll try to, if they, before you're even in love, they'll try to be hooking you, putting their hooks in you any way they can. A lot of times, you got to watch out for somebody who's trying to jump in bed with you. I mean, you got to think real hard about that. You can't just say, "Oh, they really love me, and that's why they want to sleep with me." You gotta be able to say, you gotta take a step back and take the blinders off and say, "Well, no, wait. If this person is trying to jump in the sack with me, then what's going to stop them from trying to jump in the sack with somebody a year or two down the road, 5 years down the road when you're married and kids?" I don't care how tough you are. I don't care. See me, I told myself, I'm going to be a loving husband. I'm going to, give it everything I've got. And how could someone not appreciate that? How could someone not love that? But it's like the saying goes: you give an inch and they want a mile. You give a mile and they want whatever's beyond that. Until you're dead, until they suck the living life out of you, till your whole life becomes trying to please them and meet their needs. But you see, they're unhappy, and there's no amount of anything that could ever please them. And when they realize that you can't please them, they're going to go looking for it from somebody else. So you got to be careful. Look at their values. Ask them what have they been doing with their life? What volunteer work have they done? What is, I went on a date with somebody and they started talking to me about what they'd do with $1 million. And I thought, well, that's kind of a dumb question, because well, I shouldn't say that, but that was kind of my thoughts. And I regret thinking that, but I was like, well, it's a hypothetical situation that's not realistic. I mean, it could be realistic, but it's not, it's like, why deal with the what ifs? But it's actually a really good question, because you would want to know the answer to what somebody's going to do with $1 million. It's an important question. And they can spend it wisely. But the question is what is the motives behind what they're doing? And they can say, oh, they're going to provide for their family, they're going to take care of their family. And that's all good said and done. But some people, even if your family, they just cut you off. They just cut you off. Even if they had $1 million or not. They just say, well, you're not family anymore. And for whatever reason, all that love that you thought you had and that it was shared between you, it didn't exist. And you were fooled. And there's nothing you can do about it. And then your whole world disappears. And you become like a frightened baby. Except you're not a frightened baby. You're a grown adult. And you have a bunch of memories and a bunch of pain as your world just disappears. See, baby, when they're born, they're crying. Everything's new. Everything's exciting. They're learning. It's just feed me, clothe me, change me, sleep me. A baby's taken care of. They got a whole new world. You, on the other hand, you can tell yourself, oh, it's new beginnings. Oh, but it's not new beginnings. You've got a whole lot of memories and a whole lot of responsibilities. And you have no answers. Just like a baby. But nobody's there to feed you. Nobody's there to clothe you. Nobody's there to comfort you. No matter how tough you are, that is the toughest thing in life. It's everything you've worked for, your dreams, your whole life just turned upside down. So that's why you got to be careful who you choose to spend your time with, who you choose to marry. Jesus, he would spend time with some people that, would be considered less quality people, but he was a spiritual teacher. You are not. You're not Jesus. It's good to be nice to those people, but you don't want to marry them. And Jesus did not marry them. So, point of the message is, be careful who you get involved with. You can say, oh, well, this is going to be low risk because this person needs me. Maybe they're insecure. But, those insecurities are not going to go away. Instead, once they realize you don't meet those insecurities, they're going to try to get those insecurities met by somebody else. Because they're not going to say, oh, the problem is me. They're going to say, the problem is you. and you won't know how to deal with it, and you might think the problem is you too. And then you're a sucker. And when you think the problem is you, when it's not, you're going to be abused. You're going to be taken to the cleaners, and you're just going to wonder what happened. So remember, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. You must be vigilant to protect yourself, your world, the ones you love, your future children, so that they do not get bamboozled.